also going to be great for Ghost. So I feel like, unfortunately for Gen G, this draft didn't come together the way they wanted it to. And we even saw, the tease of potentially an Akali in the top lane. They decided against it. It feels like they were not prepared for what Gen G, or excuse me, from what Damwon Kia prioritized here, which was standard picks. And then they just tried to close it out with a Quinn for some top lane dominance. But I worry about the team fights.
Yeah, I don't think the team fights are actually something that Gen G can ever look at in this particular game. Like, there's just, like, they're too squishy. They'll just get exploded. Any shockwaves get into position, they'll just get run over. They don't win the poke war either. The boomerangs and the spears will be coming out, as well as those void seekers. I just don't know whether they can contest objectives without having absolutely ridiculous amounts of vision control, which against Damwon Kia is such a tall order. So, of course they can, right? Especially with early leads, and they're going to go for this gank on the top side to see whether that's going to make it work out. Blind comes through. Khan going to get flashed on and has to flash away, but still is going to die. First blood going over to the Lilia. Sleep, of course, if Flawless comes in for a gank, but at that point, you try and get out of there before any of that. Oh, sorry. Of course, Canyon's the one that's going to be ganking him, so he's going to be fine there. No CC to worry about.
Yep. Life here can actually jump over this wall. Need to respect this, but they're not.
Whoa. Grand entrance interrupted beautifully there by Beryl, as now they're looking to try and turn it around. Showmaker flashes forward with a shockwave, doesn't quite get it the way he wants to as the orbs fly forward, and the Orianna's taken down. A double kill now for BDD, who's getting his vengeance.
I'm just going to sit here. He's not missing any CS. He's only 2 down, in fact, at this stage.
Ooh, Khan has to hop to get himself out of the way. Oh, the blind is going to miss, but Khan looks like he's still dead. Yeah, cool guys don't look at explosions as Rascal grabs himself another solo kill. I think that's 10.
Does make her hit pretty hard, too, with her auto, which is kind of funny as Showmaker.
Oh, dear. Ulti comes down, flash forward from Rascal as the shockwave can't even go off. And Rascal's just getting out of control.
And he's just way out of position, doesn't have any vision. He's trying to rejoin
his... no, the boomerang didn't even land there as Rascal... He's going to land the blind, but that's going to be a beautiful crunch. And goodbye, my friend.
In the brush he knows about. There's like no secret here. There's nobody he can even join up with. That was a... Showmaker definitely really messing that one up, sadly, I have to say.
Didn't really have to flash. There is in we go. We're going to be able to take down Life here on the bottom side. As that was in the replay, I believe we missed that one, as we're going to check out Khan just having the Nabar in exactly the right spot, and unfortunately just not enough damage from Rascal to get the work done before that one came down.
It's going to be a turret trade right now, but the question is, do they survive this? Like, Canyon, I don't think Rascal even knew he was here. He's going to die. And then what happens to Khan?
Okay, Khan actually going to move on in here as Canyon bounces away, not actually far enough, as now Khan, he's being baited in, has to flash, Void Seeker, going to miss, but Khan is going to escape with his life.
Never for this to happen. I actually like Damwon Kia controlling this Baron, though.
Yeah, Life actually going down to about half health, but does make his way out of there. As now Beryl taking a lot of damage from Ruler. Ruler avoiding the majority of what's going on here as Rascal looking for the blind, but doesn't find it.
I actually really like that Damwon Kia knew that taking the Drake fight was unrealistic. They had a group up and vision control around the Baron, or at least they were trying to wrestle that away. And trying to force a fight on their terms, trying to force Gen G to rotate into them. Because I think that is the way that they win these team fights, right? And with Gen G delaying that and then eventually stopping it, it doesn't work out. But Rascal, once again, looking for Khan.
Yeah, he picks up his boomerang as now he's trying to jump after Rascal, doing a fair bit of work, but gets blinded in the end. Showmaker looking for him. There's Killer Instinct. Nails the Void Seeker.
Side lane, they're actually making big commitments to Canyon.
Whoa, that's a pole flash as the shockwave comes through as well. They just eviscerate the Xayah before she can even ult. Sleep comes down, lands onto a couple. The Unbreakable Will is going to be there. Beryl looking for that Pulverize, doesn't quite find the good positioning as Canyon gets that flash in right before the orb was going to take him out as Rascal now looking to collapse and grab these low health members. Blind comes down. Canyon throwing spears to deter them from getting here, and it looks like Gen G to do now because they're just trading possibly an inhibitor. Yeah. As BDD is going to rotate over, but this is already gone.
Khan setting up for this. Showmaker on the bottom side of the fight, so they are a little bit disconnected here. They're slightly vulnerable, especially while Gen G is hovering on this choke, but they get forced away. Rascal on the flank.
This could be game over if this actually is a teamfight win for Damwon Kia, because there are minions on Nexus turrets right now. There's a flash in, the 4-man Pulverize from Beryl. His LCK Ghost is always so good. They wipe the floor with the Lilia. Now Life trying to get Showmaker here as Canyon gets a big old shield from the Command Protect. Rascal just flashes on over and grabs that kill, but Kaiser's going to fall down. A bit of gameplay has struck him in the face.
And you see Rascal's going for the flank, but look at this barrel by himself. It's just like, nope, triple pulverize, and Khan is going in. Follow-up stun is there, and Ghost has so much damage output. On the other side of the fight, Canyon is caught, but he buys so much time. He has his Zonias available, he goes golden, and everything is just going to pieces now for Gen G
Wow.
as BDD falls.
That was 100-0. That's really rude. Well, let's see who's going to start it off first at the moment. It is controlled by Damwon Kia. Good stun comes out from BDD, though. He throws down the ulti, and he is so strong. BDD is huge right now. And Void Staff doing a whole lot of work, but in the end, Ghost is going to win the 1v1 against the Quinn. Precisely not what you want if you're a Gen G fan. That's going to even the playing field as now the Shockwave onto 2 members. Featherstorm now on cooldown, but that's a very dead cow, and Ruler keeps himself safe.
Boom. Yep. Baron control to Damwon Kia after that vision sweep that they had.
Imagine if that bowling ball had have stole the Baron. Flawless, of course, had no blast cone, no flash, couldn't get in there. Got 6 items, one of them being a Lord Dominic's Regard, which is going to be very necessary against Khan, who's got himself a Thornmail. That Drake was there, and then it wasn't. Yeah,
So,
no, I agree.
Both of these teams have to respect each other so much. And because we're 6 Drakes in, we're going to get the maximum 7 probably. Oh, hold that thought.
Yep, Canyon actually getting turned on, does have the Commander Protect as in goes Ghost and just pops Rascal once again. And that's what Rascal thought he was getting, but unfortunately it works out the complete opposite. As now Canyon over here has the Primal Surge to keep himself safe as well as having all of those shields. And thank goodness for sure. Well, Vision going to be put up there, just letting Damwon Kia know that Gen G haven't started this Baron. They're going to start it off now.
Look at the
Flawless,
speed.
pretty tanky right here as the Void Seeker does not find them. Full information given over to Damwon Kia, and Canyon's going to try and make this a 50-50. They just burst it down though. Flawless, quick on the trigger finger as Life gets himself out of there, and Gen G steal it away. Khan. Yep, Ghost actually dashing on forward. Oh my god, the explosion of damage. Ghost is going, no, very close to falling down. I thought the gameplay button was going to do it, but Flawless jumps over and picks off the Kaiser. The Rakan's going to fall down, and there's the Xayah as well, as this fight is so much closer. Beryl going to be taken down by BDD, and now Khan's going to suffer the same fate. Canyon running for the hills, and it felt like Damwon had control, but then Gen G get the pick off, and Ghost is going to be kicking himself. Canyon, can he get in there? And he does! Takes down Rascal. 2 versus 1 now. Can Canyon actually save this as he's looking to try and get into the base? But no, he's not going to be able to.
Inhibitor. He has to back. He has to back. He has to try to slow this down. He has very little damage output against Baron minions that are coming down this base by himself. I mean, there's not much he can do, but he can't waste any time. He has to do anything. He has to hit any spears he can to try to stop this game from going down, but it just feels like it's too little too late. Yeah.
There are way too many minions. He can't actually stop them from crashing onto these Nexus turrets. BDD does way too much damage. Canyon knows that it's all over. Oh my goodness, stolen out of the jaws of defeat. They held on to the early game so well, did Gen G, but it felt like the comp wasn't necessarily going to be able to get them across the line. It doesn't matter though, because in the end, it's just to get rid of that Xayah meant that BDD, like you say, was just untouched. Did about 1 trillion damage, and you can see that represented in the damage graph here. Rascal still, he was thwacking on the Gnar all game long. That gives him some big numbers, but the difference between BDD and Showmaker is, I think, the huge gleaming issue for Damwon Kia right now.
Showmaker just didn't.
We're back after Damwon Kia versus Gen G game number 1. It was a very long one, but Gen G managed to pick up the first game victory up against Damwon Kia. It was a very intense game, and it was the longest match of the spring split, a 52-minute long game here in the LCK for the first time in the season. It was even longer than the longest game in the summer split. Well, both teams had a very obvious concept for their comp. They wanted to play around the side lanes, especially around Queen. Whereas Damwon Kia, they were having some of the safe cards here. Some of the champions that already been showing good result here in the LCK. Damwon Kia penned out Aurelia, which means they actually thought Genji would just play Irelia into Gnar, but Genji kind of answered back, we actually have Quinn in our pocket as well. Well, Damwon Kia managed to get some lead in the late game, but Genji was able to shut them down in the last team fight. And indeed, Quinn was in a very big lead in the mid game, but Gnar was able to get a solo kill and he started to eclipse the counter piece. So look, watch here first. Quinn went down to get a pick onto Orianna, but she actually committed all over Summer's spell, or maybe the flash, in order to finish up that kill. And as a result, Quinn was able to actually raise the mid turret as well, but Khan was waiting in that brush to pay it back for BDD. We can also say Quinn was a bit greedy, taking that path to get back to her lane. Because Damwon Kia had this information that Quinn didn't have her flash up, so easily Khan was able to punish that kind of route that Quinn took. Quinn is kind of champion that actually can easily get assassinated by the bruisers if she makes a very slight mistake. So, you know, we also learned that the players has to be very alert when they're making a move around the map. Especially when you're playing a champion like Quinn, a champion that needs a lot of priority in the side lanes. You shouldn't let the opponent to take a solo kill onto you. So now it's time to take a look at the game-ending team fight. Let's take a look at the replay. Gnar had the perfect flank TP angle. But watch here, Ghost actually goes in for a very aggressive trade, but Ruler was able to put his Q on the ground and answer back with his E and found the stun onto Kai'Sa. Well, this is not a fair trade from the get-go because Xayah had a lot of tools to survive her ult, her QSS, and also her summoner spells. So that was not really smart to go in that hard in order to go for a trade. So props over to Ruler with that quick reaction to the play coming out from Ghost. Ghost started off a little bit too early before Khan actually got his TP off. Even though Kai'Sa had this agency, well, they were not able to close out the team fight because of the tools that Ruler had in order to survive the fight. So that was not the most ideal or the idealistic decision coming out from Damwon Kia, and Genji was at the same time staying very focused and was able to take the fight in their favor. And the POG will go over to BDD. On Syndra, BDD, who used to be dominate the POG standings during the regular sprint, now I think it's getting everything started. Rakan was playing a little bit sloppy, but Syndra was able to actually just even out the trade. The roam from Quinn was also on point, but before that, BDD was able to find the stun with his orbs. And flash dodging the ultimate from Gnar, and he was in the perfect position, staying intact from the opponents. It was really hard to vote for one POG in this game, but BDD was the one destroying the enemy nexus in the end. So well-deserved POG award going over to BDD, and it's really impressive to see him coming back stronger after such a rough game versus Hana like esports. You know, those kind of games are the games that can actually shook a player for a while. And this is only a week 3 in LCK, but the top contenders are fighting really intensely. So let's go over to game number 2.